Hello everyone, this is Mr. Utkal Patil. So today we are see the topic design of gearbox for machine tools. Design of gearbox. You can say gearboxes for machine tools. We'll see in this topic introduction, introduction of gearbox, gearboxes. Next, need of multi-speed gearbox. In machine tools. We'll see what are the basic considerations in design of multi-speed gearbox. First point, second point, 3 point, and we'll discuss even laws of stepped regulation, stepped regulation of speeds in multi-speed gearbox. So now we'll start with the introduction of the gearbox. I can say the first point, introduction. Wherein gearbox is a mechanical device used for transmitting a power from prime mover to machine, right? So again, there will be a categorized how the power has to be transmitted from prime movers. So we can say we'll take a figure of it first. If you say I can say this prime mover connection with this is, you can say, that clutch, and this would be connected with your gearbox, and this gearbox is again connected with coupling, and this will be connected with the machine, or you can say machine tool. So how this is, what the gearbox is, mechanical device used for transmitting power from the prime mover to the machine with what, the change in the change in the torque and speed, or also, and we can say, change in the orientation of change in the orientation of drive. So now we'll see the purpose for why the using of this gearbox. Purpose of using of this gearbox. You could say purpose of using gearbox. If I say in engineering applications where the prime mover is driving machines, many times the gearboxes are required. The gearbox is required to serve one or more the purposes. So in that we could say first one, to increase the torque, to increase the torque. Second, we would say to convert the standard speed, to convert a standard speed of a prime of a of a prime mover to the specific speed of to the specific speed of a driven machine. Even I would say third, you could say to convert single input single input speed to multi output speeds. Now another, we can say, fourth point, we could say to facilitate specific relative position of machine shaft and prime mover shaft. Next, you could say the purpose of using gearbox is to increase the speeds. To increase the speeds. These are the some of the purpose where we using gearboxes. So if you see, to increase the torque, when the torque developed by the prime mover is less as compared to the torque required by the driven machine, and the gearbox is used to increase the torque. And the increase in the torque from the driving shaft to the driven shaft is accompanied by the reducing in the speed. You would say here you can say. Another you we have discussed to convert the standard speed of the prime mover to the specific speed of the driven machine. Here, in applications where the prime mover is runs at the standard speed and the machine is required to run at a speed, or you can say specific speed range, the gearbox is used to convert the standard speed of the prime mover to the specific speed or the specific speed range of the driven machine. Another we have discussed that to convert a single input to the multi output speed, single input to the output multi speeds, where in some applications like machine tools, although the movers runs at single speeds, the driven machine is required to run at different speeds. In such cases, the gearbox is used to convert a single input speed of the prime mover to the multiple output speeds. Another we have discussed that to facilitate specific relative position of the machine shaft and the prime mover shaft. Here, a certain applications need specific relative positions of the machine shafts and the prime mover shaft. In such cases, the gearbox is used to convert two shafts. And lastly, we have discussed that to increase the speed, in a few industrial applications, the machine is required to operate at higher speed as compared to the prime mover speed, where the gearbox increases the speed from the prime mover shaft to the machine shaft, and this increases the speed is accompanied by the reduction in the torque. So this is what we discussed about the purpose of the gearbox. Now we'll move toward the what are the types of the gearboxes. So we can say here types of gearboxes. So we'll see here, we could say the top gearbox here. So here there are four types mainly. First one you can say parallel gearboxes, parallel axis gearboxes. Second you can say coaxial gearboxes. Third you can say intersecting axis gearbox. And fourth you can say non-intersecting and perpendicular axis gearbox. So here these all four types, again there are two different categorized. One you could say single stage gearbox, and another is multi-speed gearbox. Single stage gearbox and multi-speed gearbox. Again in that two categorized. One is single speed single speed gearbox and multi speed gearbox. Sorry, this should be a stage, that is multi-stage. In the single stage and multi-stage, in the single stage there is again single speed and multi-speed, and multi-speeds over here you could consider single as multi itself says that more than two speeds. So again here we can say this is a categorized of multi-speed gearbox. In multi-speed gearbox again there will be three categorized. One is constant mesh gearbox. Second, you can say sliding mesh gearboxes. And third one, you can say synchro mesh gearboxes. So these are the different types of the gearboxes. Now we can say, as we have discussed, is the classification or types of the gearboxes, where classification according to the relative position of the input and the output shaft, according to that position into the input and the output shaft, where there would be a four types we have discussed here. One is, this is according to relative position of the input and output shaft. One is parallel axis gearboxes. Second one, coaxial gearboxes. Second is intersecting axis gearboxes, and fourth is non-intersection and perpendicular axis gearboxes. So if you're talking about these stages, then according to the number of stages, these are the two categorized or classified according to the number of stages. So that is single stage and multi-stage. Again, if you go further, this is what the classified according to the number of speed ratio. So you can say that single speed gearbox and multi-speed gearboxes, where in the single speed gearboxes it operates with only one speed ratio or gear ratio, you can say, and it is called as a single speed gearbox. And in case of single speed gearbox, for every input speed there is only one output speed. And if you're talking about multi-speed gearboxes, if gearbox operates with more than one speed ratio or gear ratio, it is called as multi-speed gearbox, as you know that. And in case of multi-speed gearbox, for every input speed there are more than one output speeds, right? And if you're talking about the examples of these multi-speed gearboxes are machine tool gearboxes and automobile gearboxes. So where in this, multi-speed gearbox is further classified into three categorized, as we have discussed: constant mesh, sliding mesh and synchro mesh gearboxes. Now we'll discuss the need of multi-speed gearbox in machine tools. Why we need, or we can say need of multi-speed gearbox in machine tool. In machine tool, or you can say machine tools. Yes. Now we can say in the machine tools, different operations like turning, facing, drilling, boring, threading, many more operations are required to be carried out on the workpieces, right? So here, in order to optimize the tool life and optimize the machining cost, each machining operation is carried out at the specific cutting speed. Therefore, the different machining operations require different spindle speeds. So again, machine tools needs operate to different spindle speeds. However, the prime mover, which is an electric motor, operates at a single constant speed. And therefore, for obtaining number of output speed with a single input, the multi-speed gearbox is required in the machine tools. So this is what basic needs for the multi-speed gearboxes in the machine tools. So if you considering basic considerations, if we talking about basic considerations in design of in design of multi-speed gearbox. So we can say here, before designing the multi-speed gearbox for the machine tools, it is necessary to know the conditions to be satisfied by the ideal multi-speed drive, where the ideal multi-speed gearbox should be satisfy some conditions. And in the conditions, first condition is to is that optimum optimum number of speed steps number of speed steps with increment of with increment of or increments between, you could say, 10 to 15%. And second basic considerations, we could say, speed change without speed should change without stopping the electric motor. And again, if talking about some conditions, another desired speed desired speed change without passing through the intermediate speed steps through the intermediate speed steps. Another, you could say, one set of gears in engagement at one time. Another basic considerations, use of minimum possible parts, isn't it? Use of minimum possible parts. And another very important considerations where we're talking about, where this is ergonomically designed and centralized control unit. to for comfortness, ergonomics design. That is what I mean, comfortness. Another, if you're talking about basic considerations, last point we can say that entire drive unit, entire drive unit located, should be located inside the machine tool, inside the machine tool. So these are the some basic considerations in the design of multi-speed gearboxes. So we had gone through three basic important. One is basic consideration in the design of multi-speed gearbox. One is the need of multi-speed gearbox, classification of or types of gearbox, and the purpose of using a gearbox. In the next video, we'll see the further points on the related with the gearbox.